the etheric part of medicine. I think typically when people say medicine, it's like, oh, they're pills and,
Right.
treatments and all these things. But etheric medicine is brand new. We have not talked about etheric medicine. We explored a little bit of the etheric body with the previous guest, but just share with us to start, what's the etheric medicine? What is that?
Well, so like I say, and it came to me sometimes I'm doing working in my sleep or doing sessions, and it's kind of cool. So one night it came through like, how do I, what is this? How can I encompass, with maybe a sentence? And as healing is in the medicine that we cannot see, right? Because love is healing. We can't physically see it, right? But forgiveness is healing. Everything, the light is healing, and it's free and it's necessary for our etheric bodies, and our etheric, we have both. We have our etheric body. Our soul comes in with our etheric body first, and then our physical body is a hologram of it. And I know this, like I've told you, but I'm spirit taught. So I have not read things about this. I mean, afterwards, if I'm guided to, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like there's some actual scientific proof of what I just experienced. And so I actually can see meridians, which is the electrical system of our etheric body.
Are they a specific color, these meridians?
Well, for me, they're like, they came to me when I was working with a acupuncturist. I had asked her to come work on a lymph cancer patient. This is the first time it happened, for me, because I don't look for anything. I just wait to be taught something, and then I say yes to it. So she started needling. I sat down at my client's head, and as I do, and I tune in and I just start sending light through, because for me, when I send light through, whatever remains dense or dark is where there's the stagnation or the wound, the emotional wound where that got stuck. And there's so much to say. And so I was sending light through, and of course, things were, not moving here. But when she started needling her, I was like, I opened my eyes, because it startling in that moment, because every time she put a needle in, a blue, like bright, like a blue you've never seen, started lighting up or not. And then I was noticing they were all connected by what looked like a blue straw, like a lighter blue straw. And then the more she needled, there were like smaller blue balls. And then I started getting like a pain, like in my gut or wherever. And I started to understand that that's where they wanted spirit. I say they. So I know I need to explain that better. So spirit, because that's who's teaching me, was starting to say where needles needed to be placed. And I know nothing about, acupuncture at the time. And, like this woman, like one side was lighting, and maybe like I'd see the blue light come up and maybe only go to here on this side, but come up and end like down here on this side. And I told that I was like, I don't know, that one came here, and that one, and she would twist the needle and so adjusting it, it was just this crazy experience. And so that's when I really began to understand, at least, for my work, that the etheric body, there's a space about this much where the etheric and the physical body interact or intersect, or whatever you want to call it, and that the meridians, so the physical body and the etheric body kind of share that electrical system, the electrical system, the etheric.
We can't see the etheric body. It's not something you can see.
No, but they can, with Kirlian photography.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is Kirlian photography?
Well, that's, gosh, what is it? Back in, is it the 70s or, I'm terrible, but there's there's been many, but in this one, it's like in textbooks and stuff where there's a certain camera that they used. And so they photographed a leaf, its whole, the whole leaf, and then they cut it in half, and took the physical leaf, and they took the half out of the frame, and they could still see the entire outline of the leaf. That's why people have phantom arm, if they've lost their arm or leg or whatever. It's because you can't cut the etheric body away.
Whoa. So if people have never heard the word etheric, how would you describe it to them simplistically? What is the etheric?
What I know is that it's a light body, and it takes in every, good, bad, emotional trauma, physical trauma, good stuff, bad stuff. Right now, what we're all taking in from the environment, that everything first, because it extends out here, but it also, as I said, it's hard to explain, but it also comes into the physical. And like, for instance, emotional trauma, this is where illnesses come from. And I know this because this is where I work in here with spirit and the etheric, and I'm taught etheric surgery and all kinds of stuff. But it's like an emotional wound, for instance, it comes in, and nobody understands that that's a fact, right? Like right now, things are coming in, right? So there's an emotional wound that comes in, like from childhood, for instance, as we all have. And it's like it reverberates in, into the vibration, right? Into our light body. And we're not paying attention to what our etheric body needs, because most people don't even know we have one. They think this physical thing is it,
Sure.
and like all, and so that's that emotional wound, and the vibration of that wound is staying right. It comes in and it stays there, right? So, like if you have, people with heart attacks, for instance, so wherever that first it stagnates our energy, and then it creates a level of like anxiety in the background, and which people don't pay attention to either, because we need a calm, electrical system for both our physical and our etheric, but first our etheric. And then it's the stagnation turns to density. And then the density then duplicates into the physical. And that's when people start paying attention, like, what's going on with me, and then they start seeking healing because something's wrong in the physical. And then we'll medicate it, and I have tons of respect for Western medicine. I've said I would love to work, we need to work side by side.
Yeah. Are you complementary to Western? Do you feel like that's...
I think we're complementary to each other.
Yeah.
I think we both need each other, because, and I've recently worked with a doctor, and a couple of them, but recently in Utah, and that's a whole nother story. But so then people will go have something cut out of their physical body, right? Like cut out, but nobody's paying attention to the fact that it's still in the etheric. And so then it just duplicates again, like recurring cancers and things like that. Like, those are, in most cases that I've seen anyway. And, there's a lot going on with children and things, and there's past life stuff, and there's other things. But they don't understand that there's such a desperate need for healing emotionally. And so we're being woken up with more and more like illnesses and, mental health things. And because we put so much on the physical body, it's really the only way to wake people up.